Hi friends, my name is Dejana. I am a part-time writer, a full-time nurse, and a forever lover of spooky media. Today's video is admittedly a bit of a mess. After sending my fantasy novel off to an editor, I wanted to start working on something new to occupy my time. And as you will see in this video, it didn't really work out. Instead of sending this footage to the pit of despair, I figured I'd be open and honest on this here internet and show that not everything we try works out, be it because of life, the particular project, or just the general timing of me trying it out. I'll only interject once or twice throughout this video, so please enjoy. It's kind of a mashup of two separate videos that I've put together. And let me know in the comments if you have any projects that you love or are really looking forward to, but you know now is just not the right time. I look forward to chatting with you down below. Now let's roll the tape. Hi, hello everybody. My name is Day. Welcome back to my channel. I am here today to start a new project. Is it a project? I think it's a project. If you have been following my channel for a little while, you will know that I have been working on a high fantasy novel that was very long and very, I don't want to say taxing because I loved it, but it was a lot of work. And I have finally finished the second draft of that novel. So there should be a video already on my channel somewhere. I'll link it. Of me finishing draft 2. But now that draft 2 is done, I need a palette cleanser. And my palette cleanser is going to be horror. I've had a couple horror novel ideas on the back burner, and I've just been slowly adding little pieces to them, some ideas, some thoughts. And now that I am free from my fantasy novel, I am going to start working on one of these horror novels. And by going to start working on one of these, I mean I already started a couple days ago. You have probably already seen, but I had a couple clips of myself at the beach on Saturday. I had actually intended not to start the outline for this book until Sunday or Monday, but I was inspired at the beach. I was sitting in the sun. It was great, and I ended up outlining all the way until the midpoint, or I guess past the midpoint. I outlined the midpoint and then I stopped for the day. So it's Monday now. I didn't have time yesterday to work on it, but I want to work on it some more. I would also like to fill this very blank wall. I think I'm going to do sticky notes for the Save the Cat beats, put them up, and then kind of fill in detail with more sticky notes as I go. I think that'll be fun and a way to fill up this blank wall. So, the story that I'm working on, because I have 3 that I would think I would like to release as like a standalone but interconnected universe. They're gonna be connected by kind of like an umbrella organization, not the Resident Evil one, I mean, anyways. But the one I decided to work on is not full dark, which I have already drafted about 30,000 words in. I actually want to work on another book. It does actually already have a name, and it also has a project title, but I feel like the project title spoils part of the story. So I'm going to work on the project title. Next time I update you, I will have a project title that I want to say. But basically, the comps I have for this book are Parasite, The Menu, and then I have one more comp that is also, I think, a spoiler. So I'm not sure when I will share it, if at all, but those are the comps for this book. It basically follows a chef who is hired against her will by a tech mogul who created a technology that has the ability to alter people's taste buds, which can be used positively or negatively depending on the person with access to the technology. I can give more detail later on, but for right now, that's what it is. Just got home from work, so I'm going to get ready for bed/lounging, and then I'm gonna do some work. I hopefully will finish the outline today, maybe tomorrow. I'm excited though. It's coming together surprisingly easy for something that I haven't really put that much thought or effort into. So let's get to it. It's the next day. I just got home from work and I was going to start working on my outline again. I did end up finishing the skeleton beats for Save the Cat. Basically, loosely planned what I want to happen from the beginning to the end. I also got an idea for like a literal last line of the book, which is very exciting for me. I actually also got the last line of my other horror book early on, so it's nice to have that aiming point. I did, while I was plotting, get a little bit maybe tripped up by the actual beats. I know they're like, it's a loose guideline and you're like not necessarily supposed to be sticking to it exactly. And there was a section where in like the late act 2 into act 3, I wasn't really sure how I would label each event, like if it was supposed to go in all is lost or bad guys close in or dark night of the soul, or just go into break into 3. But I feel like that's less important overall because like the progression of the story makes sense in my head, at least. I'll have to show my friends so they can confirm or deny whether it makes sense or not. But right now, everything is kind of loosely slotted into a beat. So hopefully it works out. Today, my plan is I need to type up everything that I wrote in my notebook. I have a Google Doc started that I'm going to update. It also has a lot of my brainstorming notes and my comp titles and everything in there. So I'm going to update that document. Hi again. It's at this point that I stopped filming and working on this project for the first time. I temporarily changed positions at work, moving to something that required a little bit more mental and emotional energy for me than I was used to, and therefore leaving me with less to work with while I was at home. During this time, I was also really feeling the call to my fantasy project that I had sent off to my editor. It sounds silly, but like all my quiet moments were dedicated to thinking about this fantasy project and where it can go and what's coming next. And unfortunately, a high fantasy like the one that I'm writing and this chef horror book didn't really mix super well together. Basically, I had these competing desires for projects, and like every writer you'll ever talk to, I didn't have the time or space to work on both. Unfortunately, because my fantasy project was with an editor, I ended up working on neither. So as you'll see in the next clips, we jump from mid-August to the beginning of November. Enjoy the early fall vibes, and I'll catch up with you at the end of the video to chat about what I learned from all of this. Roll the tape. It's the first day of November, and I am feeling inspired. It's been a few days since I've last written, which is not terrible, but compared to the beginning of the year, where I wrote like a 200,000 word book, things have slowed down significantly. I have a new project that is taking up space in my mind, and I really want to work on it. However, I'm struggling to find the motivation to work on it. And I know that's like a big thing, that you're not supposed to wait for motivation to hit you. You're supposed to do it and just be dedicated. But either way, I haven't been doing it. So that is the long and the short. I, as you can see, very loosely outlined my new horror novel that I dearly, dearly love. I think it's gonna be so fun when it's finished. And I've actually written the chapter 0. I guess it's a prologue, but it's like maybe half a page. So I think it's a prologue, which I know people hate, but whatever. It's like 3 paragraphs, okay? You guys can handle it. And then I also wrote chapter 1. I love it. I read it to Becca and Shay, the prologue, and they really liked it. So now I just need to do the thing and continue on. And the last couple days I've been working, it's been busy, but in my spare time I've been working on a Pinterest board for this book. I'm like weird about saying the names of my books, but I feel like this one will change eventually. Like, I mean, it might not, but I'm calling it Season to Taste. It's basically the menu meets Parasite meets Abigail. Take what you will from those comp movies. Let me know what your guesses for the themes are. But anyways, it's basically following a chef as she gets pulled into the life and company of a tech mogul who is basically overriding people's taste buds and brains with a chip, making it so that they can experience all the taste in the world without actually eating. And this chef may have some links with this mogul that the mogul is unaware of. And perhaps an infiltration of the company is happening, perhaps not. Perhaps there is something more to this billionaire than it seems. Anyways, I'm excited. It's gonna be super fun to write. It is already super fun to write. I just need to do the thing. So I'm feeling motivated. It's November 2nd. I actually spent all evening after work yesterday as my official November 1st start. I just didn't film anything. But I wrote out some brainwaves that I had about the book, particularly the billionaire, who I know the end goal and the end outcome for the billionaire, but I didn't really have a lot of the details as to why. And as I was making my Pinterest boards, it just came to me. So I wrote down my info. I also had some brainwaves about the main character, the chef, which I'm very happy with. So I'm going to continue writing. Today I will actually write. That's why I wanted to do, like, get all of my thoughts out of the way yesterday so that I'm not stopping to brainstorm significant sections of the book. So yes, I am mostly ready to write. However, while I'm feeling motivated, I'm also going to do some yoga first. And then I will probably write until my younger sister wakes up. She wants to go to the mall today for nothing in particular. She wants to walk around, but older sister job, I gotta go with her. So we will go walk around the mall, but I will write before that, and then hopefully I will write a bit after. I know Shay is doing sprints in the morning and the evening, so we'll have some body doubling there to get some stuff done. let's write. And yoga. Several hours may have passed, but I had lunch. I read through my 2.5-ish chapters. I let the dogs out. Right? So now I'm ready to write. I do have a Markiplier stream on as background noise. So I'm ready to get to work. Let's write. Okay, excuse how crazy I look. It's Sunday morning. I just got up maybe 10 minutes ago, and I wanted to talk about how writing went yesterday. So, being honest, it wasn't great. I wrote 378 words, which is very low for me. And while I like what I wrote, I read it back this morning and I was like, it's not bad. Honestly, it's not terrible. I feel like I've been struggling to get into the vibe of the book. And I realized that this is the first book that I have not made a playlist to listen to while I'm writing. So, call it productive procrastination, whatever. That's gonna be how I start my morning. I do have like a started playlist, but it's got some random songs on it and none of them actually fit the vibe of what I'm writing. So I'm going to start from scratch and make myself a playlist, and then I'm hoping that will help me get writing seriously. So I'm gonna have a tea and start. Let's do it. Okay, it is 1:30 in the afternoon. My voice is still gone. I don't know why. But I am finished writing for a little bit. I ended up finishing my laundry. I made this playlist, which ended up having 16 songs, and it's 1 hour. And then I did my laundry. I did yoga. I showered and fixed my hair, which is drying under this wrap. And then I wrote, and I ended up with 950 words so far today, and I finished my second chapter, which I'm very happy with. I feel like the part that's tripping me up about this book is the food, because I don't know anything really about fine dining, so having a chef be my main character is requiring me to stop a lot and like find foods that are like fine dining but also weird, because my character is known for making like weird combinations of food. So I feel like that's part of the problem, is just the amount of research that I will need to pull this off. But I'm kind of like taking a lax approach to it right now, and I think I'll add in a lot of the details in my next draft when I'm not really worried about the story and I'm worried about details. For now, I'm just gonna kind of wing it and hope for the best. But I'm liking it. I'm liking the dynamic that these two characters have. I feel like my main character, I might have said this already, comes off a little bit strong, but I like it. So, working on it. It's fine. We'll figure it out. So yes, I finished my chapter 2. It ended up being like double, like significantly longer than my chapter 1. So my chapter 0 is 112 words, super quick. Chapter 1 is 1818, and then chapter 2 is 28-23. So it got significantly longer, but a lot more happened as well, and all this food stuff. So again, like, I feel like I'm trying really hard to make it realistic, but I shouldn't. I should just leave it and work on it later, because I feel like I end up meandering. When I'm trying to figure things out, I just meander my way through, which makes the word count longer. So problems for later. But chapter 2 is done. I'm done for the next little bit. It's really funny. I was listening to my playlist, and it literally, I finished the last song and finished the chapter. So that was kind of amusing. I liked the playlist. It needs more songs though. 1 hour is not enough. I'm gonna take a break now. Go walk the dogs maybe. And see when I feel like coming back. So it's Monday. I just got home from work, and I will be honest, I am hurting a little bit. I have had a headache for about 90% of today. That has not been helped by Tylenol or water or relaxing, which kind of sucks. I wanted to write. I also wanted to film a video while I was still dressed and looking semi-decent, but my head hurts so badly. So I'm not sure what I will do today, but I'm assuming it's the weather. It's quite overcast today, and I get weather headaches, which is kind of silly, but I get pressure headaches, which unfortunately are not helped by much. So I am just in pain. I'm gonna make a tea and take a shower, and hopefully figure out what I want to do with the rest of the day. But it might end up just being vegetating, because wow, my head is killing me. It really is. Okay, it's almost 7. I showered and had dinner and laid around a little bit, and I'm feeling a lot better. So hello. This is the life I live. They ignore me until I start talking. Anyways, I'm gonna write now. Bye. Hey, hello, how are you? It is actually 2 days later, I think, since I last filmed. I did not write yesterday. I ended up coming home from work. I took the dogs on a nice walk, and then I had dinner and went to see a movie. I went to see Smile 2. So good. Honestly, like, the first one was all right, but I really liked the second one, which is very strange. Usually the second one is the inferior installment, but I really like this one. I thought the filming was amazing. Like, the actual camera work was really good. I thought the acting was great, and there's something to be said about using humor in horror, because there were some times where my friend and I were cackling, and then there were some times where I was like, holy crap, this is actually spooky. Usually I don't think things are very spooky, but I like this one. It was good. So I did not write yesterday. I just got home from work. I let the dogs out. So I'm going to take a shower, wash away the hospital and the day, and then how rude. Either way, the light died. I'm going to take a shower, and then I will be doing some writing. No, maybe. I need to do some reading too. I also have a video that I need to edit for my booktube channel. Writing will happen at some point today, but maybe not right after my shower. You will find out. And that's where I stopped filming. I wrote 3 chapters and a prologue of this project, totaling 6,114 words. This is probably the least amount of work that I've done on a project before putting it down. And after watching back through these clips, I feel like I have a really good idea of why it didn't take off. The first thing truly was that my creative mind was elsewhere. This large fantasy project that I'm working on has so much potential, and I have so many ideas for it. And in this case, I was simply more excited to work on the fantasy project than I was on this horror novel. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. And I'm not really sure how critical it is as a writer to be able to jump around from genre to genre, but ultimately it's something that I will try and work on, because whether I decide to do traditional or self-publishing, there will be periods of time where I will be waiting for edits or waiting for feedback, and I need to keep working. So it'll be something that I work on overall, but it did work out this time. The second reason I think that this didn't take off is because I actually changed my process. If you've watched older videos on my channel, you know that my outlines are very thorough. I'm the type of person to spend a larger amount of time on the front end of a project, outlining and researching and preparing my world and characters, so that when I actually start writing, I'm not stopping to do huge developmental things for any aspect of the project, essentially making it so that when I'm in the flow, I'm in the flow and I'm just writing. And for this project, I did not do that. I was really excited to get writing, and I had no project to work on while I was starting this one because I had already sent off the fantasy novel. So I really just made a skeleton outline and started writing. And that doesn't really work for me. I found myself stopping a lot to research things, even just thinking about how people look or what their deeper motivations are in the story. That's all the stuff that I do prior to writing that I did not do this time. This project also has a character who's a chef, which is a profession that I don't really know anything about. I'm a nurse and I'm not a great cook. I needed to look up like the hierarchies in kitchens, information on fine dining, believable recipes. There was a lot of research to do that I felt that I couldn't skip, so I kept stopping writing to look up these things because I felt if I skipped them, then I would end up with a draft that would need an entire overhaul anyways, and then it feels like a waste of time. The last reason is simply the timing of the project. It was the summertime when I first started working on this. I had a temporary change of position at work. I had this fantasy project in my mind that was taking up so much space. All of that worked against this horror project and led to the 2 false starts that you see in this video. Now, I am 1000% going back to this project and finishing it, as well as the other 2 that I mentioned earlier in the video. And I'm actually really happy with the 6,000 words that I wrote. I don't anticipate needing to cut them. They're well done, which is not common for first draft from me, but I really enjoy what I have written and the characters that I have created. But what I'll do now is take my time, as I should have in the beginning, to further develop the story and the characters, and then come back to the manuscript when I feel like I'm better prepared to write it. I hope this video was at least a little bit entertaining. I really strongly considered scrapping all of these clips, but I think these minor stumbles on our way to success are really important to document and discuss as well. Comment down below what you're working on to close out this year. I'd love to hear about all of your projects. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you want to like and subscribe, and I'll see you somewhere on the internet. Bye.